Blight? How will you end it?
We have to fight the Archdemon.
Is that all? It is surrounded by an ocean of Darkspawn. How will you reach it? If you reach it, how will you slay it? You say you are a Grey Warden. I have heard stories of this order.
What have you heard?
Great strategists and peerless warriors. That is what we hear of the Wardens. So far, I am not impressed.
I'm new?
Will you make that excuse to the Archdemon, or the victims it claims in the meantime?
Sten disapproves. Sten? Anyway, welcome back to Let's Play Dragon Age Origins. Last time we finished things up with the circle, and I decided that I would come to camp before we head off to Red Cliff, and Sten just... yeah. Talk to Puppy?
Your dog is filthy. I can smell him 50 yards off.
I'm sure you're exaggerating a little.
That may be so, but all the same, I would like your permission to bathe him.
Yeah. If he's smelly, go ahead. He's okay.
Excellent. I will get my soaps, and the dog shall have his bath after supper.
He's okay. Silly puppy. I forgot I have some gifts. This goes to Morrigan.
What? You found Flemeth's grimoire? Ever since we discovered the condition of the Mage's Tower, I had wondered if it might be recoverable, but I had yet to speak of it to you. How fortunate that you found it on your own. You have my thanks. I will begin study of the tome immediately.
I have no idea why it was in the Circle Tower. What do you hope to find in it?
Secrets. My mother has many of them, and this tome represents the one time that they were able to get away from her. I do not intend to squander this opportunity to learn more than Flemeth wished me to know. This should be interesting.
Was your mother at the Circle at some point? I don't understand. Morgan approves plus 11. Alright, we got more gifts. Wynn likes this.
A generous gift. Thank you ever so much.
I thought this was for Leliana, but this is also for Wynn.
A generous gift. Thank you ever so much.
Morgan likes this.
A fine gift. You have my thanks.
This one's for Alistair.
Is that for me? Really? Wow! Wow!
This one is for Sten.
I am impressed. My thanks.
This one is for Leliana.
That's a wonderful thought. I don't know what to say.
Wynn likes wine.
Oh, marvelous.
Lots of approval. Dang, look at that. Woo! Wynn likes us a lot. Sten?
You are not quite as callow as I thought. That is unexpected.
You thought I was callow?
You sound surprised. You must have heard this before. You'll get over it. Eventually.
What? Oh. Will you tell me how you were caged?
I caged myself. A weak mind is a deadly foe, as you are no doubt aware.
But... what happened?
I told you before that I was sent here. I was not sent alone. I came to your lands with 7 of the Beresad, my brothers, to seek answers about the Blight. We made our way across the Ferelden countryside without incident, seeing nothing of the threat we were sent to observe. Until the night we camped by Lake Calenhad. They came from everywhere. The earth beneath our feet, the air above us. Our own shadows harbored the Darkspawn. I saw the last of the creatures cut down, too late. I fell
What happened to the other Canary?
I am told no others survived. I don't know how long I lay on the battlefield among the dead, nor do I know how the farmers found me. I only know that when I woke, I was no longer among my brothers, and my sword was gone from my hand.
What did you do?
I searched for it, and when that failed, I asked my rescuers what had become of it.
Did they know where it was?
They said they found me with nothing.
Okay, and then what?
I killed them. With my bare hands. I did. I knew they didn't have the blade. They had no reason to lie to me. I panicked. Unthinking, I struck them down.
I don't understand. That's horrible. What made you panic?
That sword was made for my hand alone. I have carried it from the day I was set into the Beresad. I was to die wielding it for my people. Even if I could cross Ferelden and Tevinter unarmed and alone to bring my report to the Arishok, I would be slain on sight by the Antam. They would know me as soulless, a deserter. No soldier would cast aside his blade while he drew breath.
Couldn't you search for it?
If I knew where to look, it would be in my hand now.
Where did you fight the Darkspawn?
Near Lake Calenhad.
That's where we were. Alright, we'll look for it.
Perhaps those words are empty, but thank you all the same.
So yeah, a Canary blade is kind of like their life. When the Canary die, they don't revere the body, they take the blade as a way to honor them, and the bodies are disposed of however. So it's an interesting culture.
You called.
Oh. I want to discuss something you mentioned.
Speak, then.
Nothing.
Then I suggest we move on.
No question?
I am hardly surprised.
Do you find Ferelden very strange?
To put it lightly, no one has a place here. Your farmers wish to be merchants. The merchants dream of being nobles, and the nobles become warriors. No one is content to be who they are.
Don't the Canary ever want to change their lot in life?
What does that accomplish? The farmer who buys a shop is never a merchant. He is always a farmer turned merchant. He carries his old life with him as a turtle carries its shell.
But maybe he was meant to be a merchant.
Meant by whom? And if that were indeed his purpose, why did that mysterious source of meaning not make him so to begin with?
You think birth determines your destiny?
Destiny? Destiny is superstitious nonsense. Life is not a journey that ends with you arriving or not arriving at the proper destination. Life is what you do. Life is the duties you fulfill.
I can agree with that, but... yeah, I can agree with that.
Shall we move on?
I still don't know why a farmer can't be a merchant, though. Is there anything you like about Ferelden?
There is interesting food here. You have a thing. It doesn't have a word in the Kunari tongue. Little baked things like bread, but sweet and crumbly.
You mean cookies?
Yes, we have no such things in our lands. This should be remedied.
I'll keep that in mind.
Shall we move on?
See if he has anything else.
Speak, then. Then I suggest we move on. I am hardly surprised.
Okay.
Very well. As you wish.
So, someone told me, Stan approves plus 18? Whoa! Someone told me that cookies were invented as a way to use leftover flour that had, like, gone bad, maybe? Or was going stale or whatever. And the Canary waste absolutely nothing. Which is why... So the reason that Sten, or the idea behind why Sten has never heard of cookies and why the Canary don't have cookies is because they're so super efficient that they wouldn't have stale flour, which is just hilarious in my opinion. Do you have anything to say?
At your service. Well, we're in camp. Now's as good a time as any to talk, right?
I want to tell you how much I enjoy your company.
You know, I was just thinking the same thing. Given the circumstances, things could have been so much worse. I'm so grateful that you're you, instead of some other Grey Warden. That sounded better in my head. I just mean to say that I can't imagine having done this without you.
Oh, well, I feel the same way.
Now we just need to be rid of that pesky archdemon, and everything will be back to normal, right?
Yeah, I'm okay with that conversation. Let's go talk to Leliana.
Did you always live in an alienage? Was it very terrible?
Sometimes. Yeah.
I have never been to the Denerim alienage, but I hear that life is hard and there is so much squalor. In Orlais, most elven servants live in the homes of their masters, often in great wealth and luxury.
I don't consider that a improvement.
They are serfs. There is no slavery in Orlais.
I would not choose that.
Elven servants are well compensated for their services. Some of them live richer lives than humans. A well-trained elven servant is highly valued in Orlais. They are nimble and dexterous, and many people find them pleasing to look at.
Like a prize-winning animal?
No, I did not mean it that way. Oh, my words were clumsily chosen. I did not mean to offend. I am sorry.
I'm elven, but I'm also a person.
Of course. I am sorry if I implied otherwise. Thank you. You have given me a lot to think about.
Leliana approves +1.
Have I ever told you I really like the way you wear your hair?
Really? Well, thank you.
It's very nice and it suits you. Simple. Not like the elaborate hairstyles we wore in Orlais. They involved flowers, ribbons, jewels. One year, feathers were all the rage, and Lady Elise decided she needed to outdo everyone else, and actually wore live songbirds in her voluminous hair. The chirping was quite charming for a while, but you must realize, terrified little birdies often have loose bowels.
Oh, poor birds.
Yes, I don't envy them. She never washed her hair.
Oh, that's gross.
But I was trying to say something nice to you, wasn't I? Oh, forgive me. My mind wanders so. It's just that I feel so comfortable talking to you. Like I could say anything and you wouldn't judge me.
Oh, I kind of like the way you ramble.
You see? This is what I mean. You're such a pleasure to talk to. I haven't felt this close to anyone in a long time. I really enjoy your company.
Do you often enjoy the company of other women?
And what would you do if I said I do? Very much so, in fact.
I think I might giggle. Then I am flattered.
There's no one else I'd rather spend time with. Come then, let's get going. If I recall correctly, you have some important earth-shattering business to attend to.
That is true. Leliana approves +2.
Yes? Something you need?
I want to talk to you about something.
Yes? What's on your mind?
Why did you decide to come to Ferelden?
My mother was from Denerim, and I consider myself a Ferelden. Mother served an Orlesian noblewoman who lived here when Orlais ruled. When Orlais was defeated, and the common folk began to resent the presence of any Orlesian, the lady returned to Orlais. She took my mother with her. I was born in Orlais, and did not set foot in Ferelden till much later. Mother was always telling me stories of her homeland. I think she missed it.
What happened to your mother?
Mother died when I was very young. Lady Cecily let me stay with her. I had no one else. She was quite old then, and she had me study music and dance to entertain her. It is unfair that I have more memories of Cecily than my mother.
Oh. What do you remember of your mother?
Strangely, the only thing I really remember of Mother was her scent. She kept dry flowers in her closet amongst her clothes. Small white Ferelden wildflowers with a sweet fragrance. Mother called them Andraste's Grace. They were very rare in Orlais. But enough about that. Let us move on. Yes? Something you need? Yes? What's on your
I
mind?
think I touched a nerve earlier. Do you miss anything about Orlais?
I miss Val Royeaux. Unlike other cities where the people are the lifeblood and the character, Val Royeaux was her own person, and her people little more than decorations. There was always music in Val Royeaux, streaming from the many windows, quiet refrains and triumphant choruses, and always, floating above that all, the chant, coming from the Grand Cathedral. It was magnificent.
That does sound pretty grand.
Oh, it would take me a day or two to talk about the many splendors of Orlais, her golden fields, her lush meadows. Of course there are good things and bad things about Orlais, like anywhere else. Sometimes I miss it dearly, and sometimes I'm glad I'm rid of it. And you will laugh at this, but I miss the fine things I had in Orlais.
What sort of things?
Dresses, fine dresses and furs, and shoes, of course. One can't mingle with nobility with bad shoes, you see. Orlais is very fashionable, almost ridiculously so. But the shoes, living with those ridiculous trends was worth it for the shoes.
Were they ridiculous shoes?
Sometimes. About 10 years ago, all the ladies went mad for shoes with soles as large and heavy as bricks. But it isn't always that silly. When I left Orlais, the fashion was shoes with delicate tapered heels and embellishments in the front. A ribbon, perhaps, or embroidery. In soft colors, of course. It was spring.
Would that be hard to walk in?
I wouldn't want to run in it, or have to enter battle, but for lounging in a lady's sitting room? Perfect. The shoes made in Orlais were exquisite. Not at all like these clunky fur-lined leather boots you have in Ferelden. Ugh, just look at them.
They're comfortable at least.
They're sturdy shoes, but sometimes a girl just wants to have pretty feet. Oh, I could talk about shoes all day, but we have things to do, don't we?
Alright.
Yes? Something you need? Yes? What's on your mind?
I heard that in Orlais, minstrels are often spies.
Where did you hear this?
I read it in a history book.
And did you not think that this could be historical fact and no longer true? Not all minstrels are spies. Most are just singers and storytellers, but some of them are what we call bards.
And what's the difference?
Many use the two words minstrel and bard interchangeably, but to do so in Orlais would cause misunderstanding. Bards are minstrels and more. Spies, as you say. Some say there is a bard order, but I don't think this is true. Many bards work alone or in small groups, doing the bidding of a patron who pays for their services. If there is an organization behind it all, no one knows who they are.
What sort of services does a bard offer?
What do you think? They infiltrate, steal, sometimes assassinate? It depends on the bard. In Orlais, there is much rivalry amongst the highborn. They fight over land, influence, and the favor of the Empress. But they cannot do this openly because it is impolite, and in public, they wear smiling faces and pretend to be civil. In secret, they plot and scheme to destroy each other. It is a game completely meaningless to anyone but its players.
You seem to know quite a bit about these bards.
And I should, shouldn't I, after having spent most of my adult life as one? You've guessed as much, I'm sure. But does it really matter what I was? What's past is past.
But why were you living as a cloistered sister in Ferelden?
I found myself in Ferelden and sheltered from bad weather in the Chantry. And when the storm passed, I just did not want to leave. I like to see the Maker brought me here.
Okay, so I think we got some additional approval there.
Yes? Something you need?
I'm gonna keep talking to you. Can you teach me to be a bard?
That's an idea. I've watched you, and I do think you'd find some of my skills quite easy to pick up. Let's just go over there, away from the others, for safety, yes? I expect there shall be daggers flying about willy-nilly for a time.
Unlocked bard specialization. Okay, that is everything with Leliana. Talk to Sten. I'm worried about talking to Moore again.
I await your command.
Life in the wilds must have been very lonely.
At times, perhaps. A world full of people and buildings and things was all very foreign to me. If I wished companionship, I ran with the wolves and flew with the birds. If I spoke, 'twas to the trees.
Did they speak back?
Don't be foolish. I recall the first time I crept beyond the edge of the wilds. I did so in animal form, remaining in the shadows and watching these strange townsfolk from afar. I happened upon a noblewoman by her carriage, adorned in sparkling garments, the likes of which I had never before seen. I was dazzled. This, to me, seemed what true wealth and beauty must be. I snuck up behind her and stole a hand mirror from the carriage. 'Twas encrusted in gold and crystalline gemstones, and I hugged it to my chest with delight as I sped back to the wilds.
What happened then?
Flemeth was furious with me. I was a child and had not yet come into my full power, and I had risked discovery for the sake of a pretty bauble. To teach me a lesson, Flemeth took the mirror and smashed it upon the ground. I was heartbroken.
And I'm sure you'll say your mother was right.
Beauty and love are fleeting and have no meaning. Survival has meaning. Power has meaning. Without those lessons, I would not be here today, as difficult as they might have been.
They are harsh lessons, but I agree with her that they were kind of necessary. And those lessons made you stronger, didn't they?
They did indeed. To return to your original question, perhaps my time in the wilds was indeed lonely, but such was how it had to be. I find myself at times wondering what might have become of the girl with the beautiful golden mirror, but such fantasies have no place amidst reality.
And we got some approval from her.
I await your command. So, full of questions, are you?
Can you teach others? Didn't I do this already?
Possibly, if I had the desire to. I do not.
Why not?
I was told to accompany you and to help you, and that I shall. This may extend to the teaching of my mother's skills in time. For now, I simply do not know you well enough. I promise nothing.
I have her approval pretty high, I thought. Interesting. Alright, so we've talked to her as much as we can talk to her.